Hello, this is Beastly Eel, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about 10 death battles that I want to see. So I'm going to be coming up with 10 death battles. So 20 combatants for death battle that I would like to see. So we're going to get right into it. They're not in any particular order because I did not rank them. I really don't care about the order in which they come in, but I think they're definitely death battles I want to see. So we're going to move right on into the death battles. So the first death battle on this list is Android 16 from Dragon Ball Z versus Cyborg from DC Comics. So the reason why I put these two together is they're both were children of scientists. And because of accidents that happened, they were either recreated as a robot or combined with technology to bring them back to life. So their creation was very similar. Android 16 was built to be strong enough to fight Goku. Goku during the Frieza saga. Um, Cyborg is part of the Justice League. He has a big arsenal. So my concern is with this death battle, why it might not ever come, is because Cyborg might have much more technology than 16 has, but I would imagine that their damage output has got to be close. Um, but that would have to be their decision. I mean, I'm not quite positive on all of Cyborg's abilities and how powerful he is. I know what he can do and why he's an asset to the Justice League, but I think these two combined could actually have a decent death battle. Moving right on to the next. So the next death battle I want to see is Blade from Marvel versus Celine from Underworld. Now these two are both vampires. The reason why I laugh is because they're both, I would consider, anti-heroes in their own right, to a certain extent. Blade being the half vampire, where Celine was actually turned into a full vampire. These two are very similar in the sense of their powers, their abilities, and what they're capable of. They also have weaponry that is not completely um, natural to a vampire. What I mean by that is not swords or blades and stuff like that. They also have an arsenal of guns and weaponry like that, like throwing stars, grenades, rocket launchers, and things like that, along with vehicles as well. So these two, at least equipment-wise, would definitely be a match for each other. Physically, I would also imagine that they probably are quite similar in strength, speed, and their vulnerabilities as well. That being said, that's why they're both on this list, and that's why I want to see them fight each other out, because it'd be very interested to see what these two could actually do to each other, and which one's actually the better vampire. Moving right on to the next death battle is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers versus the Big Bad Beetleborgs. Um, Most people know who the Power Rangers are. They're a group of teenagers who um, were chosen by Zordon to have the power coins to defeat the evil Rita Repulsa. They became the Mighty Power Rangers, all formed up with the the five power coins, and all based on dinosaurs, or ancient animals, I should say. Most people, though, don't actually know who the Beetleborgs are. So, the Beetleborgs are originally three kids that stumbled upon this comic book, and they got their wish, and they became the Beetleborgs, and they morph, and I use that word very lightly, and they become the Battleborgs that defeat the enemies. So very similar. They're children that were chosen in a way to fight evil. They morph into these suits that help them be more powerful. They have Megazords or Beetlebots, or what is it called? I think it's I think they're called Beetlebots. But anyway, they all have machinery to help them fight in these battles as well. It'd be interesting to see who would win. Um, I know what you're thinking. Well, there's five versus three. Well, I'm pretty sure in season two that they added a couple more. Beetleborgs, which would have evened it out. That being said, no big deal. I still think that the two of them, the two teams should definitely fight each other out to see which one is the superior one, even though history has shown which one's better, but power-wise, which one's the better one. And that's why they're on their list. Plus, it's nostalgic for me. Grew up watching both of them, so it'd be very interesting to see which one would actually win. Now, the next two on this list are two sorceresses. Um, they're Enchantress from Marvel versus Cersei from DC. So Enchantress is no more with Thor, obviously. She is a powerful sorceress. She's able to do many things. She has superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, stamina, endurance, durability, longevity, healing factor. And with her magical powers, she also has energy manipulation, mind control, telepathy, dimensional travel, levitation, teleportation, illusion casting, transmutation, which is the ability to turn one thing into another. We also have life force absorption, which did not know about, and time manipulation, all of which are a very powerful thing. Now, she's definitely teamed up with Loki, and she normally hangs around a guy that she controls, and he becomes the Executioner. But taking the Executioner and Loki out of this, I think she'd definitely be a match by herself against any of these people. But Circe is actually the goddess. It's considered she has goddess level sorcery. She's immortal, energy manipulation. She has immense strength, um, supernatural beauty. That one throws me off. I'm reading this on a page. I'm kind of confused by it. Hypersonic voice and hypersonic singing. She's also very powerful in magics in general, and she's also gone toe to toe against Wonder Woman multiple times. She's fought against many people, including the Justice League at certain points as well. So the two of them have fought gods. Um, they seem to be a much more even match on paper, but knowing about their exact skill sets would be interesting to see which one has the more power and which one could actually beat the other one in a fight. So that's definitely an interesting death battle that I'd like to see as well. So the next two on this list that I'd like to see fight in a death battle are two um, creatures that have animalistic abilities. It is Toad from Marvel, specifically the Brotherhood of Mutants, versus Froppy from My Hero Academia. Now, these both have the abilities of frogs. Um, Toad, obviously more like a toad, but very similar abilities. They can both stick to walls. They have tongues that they can stretch out to use to kind of bring them to one place to the other. Toad, I know, has toxic spit, where Froppy can stick things into her stomach and spit it back out. Um, so they do differ in certain things, but I think they both have physical strength. Um, and the other thing too is Froppy can actually be camouflaged as well now. But that being said, the two of them would be an interesting pair to see fight each other. Personality-wise, they're completely different. I mean, Toad's kind of a scared little child, where Froppy is much more, definitely braver. I don't want to say she's 100% able to do it all. There are some flaws she has, but who doesn't? But she's definitely, personality-wise, better than our little friend Toad. But still, the two of them together would definitely be interesting to see which one is the better frog person. So the next two on this list is another Marvel versus DC battle. So it is between two of the best marksmen of all time. It is Deadshot from DC versus Bullseye from Marvel. Now, both of these men are mercenaries. Um, they both technically never miss. Bullseye apparently has the innate ability to never miss. We're not quite sure if it's a mutant ability or not. It's never really physically stated. But both are very accurate with a gun. They know how to use pretty much any gun. Bullseye doesn't need to use just a gun, he can do it with a bunch of other things, but Deadshot has proven that he can as well, with darts and other things like that. So both have a wide arsenal at their hands, and that's why they should definitely duke it out to see which one's the better marksman. Um, I mean, Deadshot has to go up against Batman, who is a tough opponent to begin with, and then you have Bullseye, who is up against Daredevil, who is also not an easy guy to beat. But still, seeing which one of those two is the better marksman would be an excellent death battle fight to see. Definitely something I'd be looking forward to watch as well. So this next suggestion actually is two people who've already been in death battles before. I think this is the first one on my list that actually has had both combatants be in a death battle before. Obviously not with each other. Um, and it is actually Broly from Dragon Ball Super versus Doomsday from DC Comics. Now, the reason why I put these two together happens to do with the fact that Broly beat the Hulk, so and Doomsday beat the Hulk, so can Broly beat Doomsday? Who knows? But it'd be interesting to see. My concern would be um, physically. I don't know if Broly could actually do damage to Doomsday's skin. But that being said, it'd be interesting to see the legendary Super Saiyan versus Doomsday to see which one would actually win in a fight. I put the two together, like I said, because if the Hulk lost to Broly, but Doomsday beat the Hulk, let's see if those two can actually duke it out and see which one's the better fighter. That's kind of the only reason why I put those two together. Plus, it'd be interesting to see which one is the more dominant one. Since they both beat the Hulk, who is the better Hulk killer? Well, that's another reason to put those two on the list in itself to see which one is the better Hulk destroyer. So the next death battle on this list is Real Steel from My Hero Academia. He's from 1B. Yeah, class 1B. He literally is able to make his skin steel. Then we have versus Colossus from Marvel, aka the X-Men. So the two of them together, the reason why I'm putting them together is for obvious reasons. They both have steel skin. They both want to be a great person and a great hero, which would be really interesting to see how their personalities go against each other along with their fighting ability. Now, downside to this is Colossus's age. He does have much more experience than Real Steel, but that being said, Real Steel has been in many fights and has proven himself that he can actually fight and do a good job. So it'll be interesting to see which better Steel hero would actually come out on top. Both of them are great characters. I'd like to see them duke it out to see which one is the better one. Next on this list is another DC versus Marvel battle. Now these two are copycats, very similar to Deadshot and Bullseye, but these two are feline-based characters. So that means it's Black Cat from Marvel, specifically Spider-Man, versus Catwoman from DC Comics, more so Batman. So both of which thieves. Both of them are cat burglars. They steal jewelry. They both do it for different reasons, but realistically, they're both thieves. Both change their ways. Both become more of anti-heroes than heroes, working with the people who are always trying to put them in prison. So Black Cat always teaming up with Spider-Man, Catwoman teaming up with Batman. So there's a lot of similarities between these two. They both have cat-like abilities, fighting styles like a cat. The big thing that's different between the two is Black Cat's serum that makes her physically stronger and produce bad luck around her. That might give her a super edge up against Catwoman, but Catwoman has also fought people who were stronger than her and won. So she has been able to do this in the past, and it has the potential of her winning again. So just have that thought in your head. Definitely would like to see Black Cat versus Catwoman to see which one is the better cat girlfriend. So the final death battle I want to see is another DC versus Marvel fight. But these two, I didn't really think about in Death Battle because they're both criminal masterminds, and I didn't think of either of them. But really, putting power wise being very similar in the sense of being physically strong and owning a criminal empire. That's why I put these two together to see if which one would actually be the superior criminal mastermind. And it is Savage, Vandal Savage from DC Comics versus Kingpin. For those of you who don't know who Vandal Savage is, he's a caveman from the DC universe who got radioactive um, rays hitting him from a meteor, which made him extremely intelligent and apparently the ability to have an extended life. He is not immortal, he can still die, but he does have the ability to live and not age. Versus Kingpin, Kingpin from the Marvel Universe. Kingpin is a criminal mastermind. He is a mogul throughout the entire crime world. In fact, he's named the Kingpin for a reason because he runs almost all criminal acts in the Marvel Universe. If it's happening anywhere in the world, he either knows about it or has his hand in it in some sort of way. But also, he's physically strong. Both Savage and Kingpin are definitely have superhuman strength, superhuman durability. Um, the difference has to be obviously Savage's years and years of experience, but both are highly intelligent beings, people, and because of that, would be an excellent fight to see which one would be the better criminal mastermind. Would it be the intellectual, almost immortal Savage, or would it be the entire, I don't want to, Marvel criminal empire Kingpin? It'd be an interesting fight to see, especially to figure out which one would actually be the better fighter. Now, just like always, that's it for the end of this video. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe below. Also, put comments in. I do try to respond to everybody who responds. I do my best as quickly as I can. The other thing is, I will continue to be putting out a video every single day. Tomorrow's video is going to be of Loki's episode 5, so we'll have to wait until I watch it before I can post that video. But other than that, this is Beast Eel signing out. Have a good night.